on MorningLine, our final segment with Allison Fields. Taking your phone calls, 737-7587. You see Ask the Vet. She's the vet. We'll get to it. Let's go to Bill. Bill, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi,
I had
Bill.
a question for the doc. I've got a 12-year-old lab with bad arthritis. His rear legs are a mess, and we feed him Hill's Prescription JD.
Yeah, that's a great food for that.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to ask. Is that it's
No.
$80 a bag.
Yeah.
You know?
They're proud of their stuff, I will tell you that. But it's a prescription food, and it is really good. Now, it is even better when you combine it with additional joint supplementation and some arthritis medication, which I'm sure that you have him on as well.
How about a low-dose aspirin? Is that okay?
Well, you can get a whole lot. Is he on anything else?
No.
Okay. Did your doctor prescribe the JD?
Yes.
Okay. Did they talk to you about any other arthritis medication like Novox or Rimadyl or Deramax?
No.
Okay. So you need to go back in and see your vet and tell them that you would like some arthritis medication.
Okay.
Low-dose aspirin can give some relief. It's not going to give as much relief as a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. Kind of think of it in the same way that, is an aspirin going to help your sprained ankle better than an ibuprofen? Which one's going to do it? Usually it's the ibuprofen.
Correct.
Now, dogs can't take ibuprofen. They can't take Tylenol. They can't take, the people stuff. They can't metabolize it appropriately, and it can become a toxin. But we have some really good non-steroidal anti-inflammatories that are designed for dogs that people can't take because it hurts people.
He's got no more muscle in his back legs. There's no muscle left. I mean, we had to build a ramp.
Right.
A little deck for him to walk up.
I think that
because he just doesn't have any muscle left. He's going to be 12, as a matter of fact, this week.
I think you need to talk to your vet because a combination of a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory and a pain medication may get him a lot of pain relief. So I would definitely take him in, see your vet. The JD is great, but it's meant to be one arm of a multimodal modality that you can help your dog with the arthritis. So it's great, but it's not it.
Okay.
There's other stuff that could be really helpful. If you do take him in to see your vet, please stop giving the aspirin because in order to give the other medication, we need at least 3 or 4 or 5 days off of the aspirin before we start the Novox or the Deramax or whatever it is they start them on, because those can cause stomach ulcers when you're given together. So back to please tell your vet everything. I ask people all the time, is your dog on any medication? Are you giving him anything? Oh, no. And then I go get all my drugs together and I come back in and we talk about stuff, and 2 days later they call me and say, should I still be giving him this aspirin?
Yeah.
What do you mean this aspirin?
You said no more.
Nobody told me you were doing anything. You didn't tell me you were doing anything. And now I've had this dog on this and aspirin, which then costs the people more because I have to give more meds to protect the stomach so just always tell your vet.
Absolutely.
I've been doing this aspirin. This is what I've been doing. It's not that it's bad. It's just that it interacts with other stuff.
Yeah. Good for Bill, man. I'm just intrigued by JD. I had not heard of that brand. Is that one that's full of glucosamine or something, or what is it that makes it so good? I mean, $80 a bag.
Yeah.
Woo.
Well, any of the prescription foods. Well, he's buying the big guys.
Okay, which is wonderful. But what is in there for this dog?
There's joint supplement. There's glucosamine and chondroitin. The thing about it, though, is that AFCO, which is the food animal Association of Animal Food and something else, I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
But you can only put so much glucosamine and chondroitin and supplements in a food and have it still be able to be sold. So it's like they can put this much, and JD puts this much. They put as much as they absolutely can in there. However, a lot of times the dog itself needs more than that.
So you get some tablets.
The food is great. I usually use the food in conjunction with another joint supplement, in conjunction with some kind of anti-inflammatory, and usually those three, and sometimes we do a pain reliever, as the dog gets worse and worse, but usually starting on JD is where I start, with kind of like a middle to late age dog, and then we might add in the other supplement, and then we might add in the anti-inflammatory, and then we might add in the pain medication. So they all kind of work together, and the more ways that we can approach attacking this arthritis really helps.
Oh, that's great. I mentioned to you, we do have with our dogs some that comes, it's water, it's something, an additive we put in the water bowl that has not only something for their teeth, but also some of the glucosamine and chondroitin. So that's just another way they can get it. That would be all right?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. And then as far as if you get supplements separate, are there special pet supplements for glucosamine and chondroitin, or can you give them the one that you're taking? I don't know.
You can give them the one that you're taking. You need to talk with your vet about dosages.
Okay.
And this is strictly for joint supplements, not pain medications or anything else like that. But the interesting thing about supplements, if you walk into Walgreens and there's the 1,000 count bottle for $20. That's probably synthetically manufactured. They make it in a lab. They put all of the atoms together in the right way and all of this stuff together, and they make these tablets. Our bodies like natural. And so we can absorb, if we take an all-natural joint supplement, we can absorb about 80 to 85% of that. Bioavailability is what it's called. When it's synthetically manufactured, we can get about 15 to 20% of it. That's how much is bioavailable.
And that's why one is so much more expensive than the other.
Exactly. So when you go to GNC,
so what you look for, natural glucose. Natural, is that, I guess, is that coming from
shellfish?
Shellfish, that's right. Okay.
The New Zealand green-lipped mussel, which I love to say, is one of the shellfish that they get chondroitin out of. I think.
New Zealand green-lipped mussel.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
And that applies for both humans and animals.
Yeah, it does.
That's the kind that's absorbed.
Read that in a Men's Health magazine somewhere. So that's why your vitamins may be, this brand is so much more expensive and this one's not. You may want to look and see if it's naturally derived or how it's manufactured.
Yeah, because sometimes those big jars of the stuff, and it's very affordable.
Looks like a great deal.
Yeah.
But you got to take like 5 times the dose to get what the other one gives you.
Talking about treats earlier with peanut butter, I need to ask, I've been dying to ask you this all day. If you were a dog and you were in the market for a treat, which would you prefer? Frosty Paws or a Puppuccino? Frosty Paws
That's a hard
or
choice.
A Puppuccino?
Here's the thing. I've never used the Puppuccino with my dog. She loves a Frosty Paw though.
I had to bring him up.
A Frosty Paw.
Frosty Paws. Everyone says they love Frosty Paws. A little non-dairy creamer cone.
It's like remember the little ice creams that you used to get in lunch when we were little, and you pulled the top off.
Yeah, that's right. You told me this last time you were on.
That's what a Frosty Paw is.
I just love the name Frosty Paws. The Puppuccino, certain coffee shops, I know Starbucks does it. I think.
Well,
you can go through the line, and it's foamy, just fluffy milk in a cup.
It's just, I think, what's the stuff?
Oh, the
whipped cream.
Whipped cream or something. Yeah, I have some friends that take their dogs every weekend to, and the dogs expect it. They're waiting first thing in the morning, and they have to go get a Puppuccino. Yeah. Caffeine, coffee, not good for dogs to get into, right? And they're not getting that in this. It's just the creamer. Any other treats that in terms of people giving their pets treats and not wanting them to gain a lot of weight? The best low-fat treats, maybe even some you make yourself, which is the favorite you told me years ago, is freezing chicken broth, which I think is brilliant.
Half chicken broth, half water, put it in ice cube trays.
And it works. They eat that up in the summer. It's great, especially.
It's super fun. Carrots, green beans, vegetables are great.
They'll eat green beans.
Cauliflower, broccoli. If you have a dog that likes raw vegetables that's got a good crunch, those are great things to give them. Obviously, stay away from the onions, the garlic, the thing,
Anything that's processed or with sugars. And now, a lot of the store-bought treats, little pepperoni sticks or sausages.
Yeah, my dog doesn't get any of that.
They won't eat those because it's
she typically gets handmade, like from some little doggy bakery. all human food grade stuff, little cookies and stuff like that.
They're great.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of any of the jerkies. Chicken jerky right now is not a good thing, especially if it's not made in the United States. The Chinese, which is where just about everything is from, was having melamine added to it, which, you know, we all remember the melamine added to the baby formula a couple years ago, and then did the pet, remember 2008, the whole pet food thing?
That was a big deal.
Right. So chicken jerky is kind of off my list right now, across the board. But I don't know. My dog gets either homemade treats or...
We know that you are something of a gourmet. Let me give you the scenario by which perhaps you have seared some scallops and one falls off your plate right in front of the dog.
Right. I tell my dog to leave it.
I think it would be gone before you could react. That scallop would be gone.
She walks up to it, she looks at me, and I say leave it. Or if she got it in her mouth and I say leave it, she would spit it out.
Our friend Rick had a dog named Sydney. It was a wonderful dog. And, you know, he fed it properly. And once he left a pizza on the counter.
Well, he ate it, of course.
And he turned around and the pizza was gone. And that was like just all of a sudden a blast of that all at once. And apparently it gave some gastrointestinal distress for quite some time.
Yeah.
Rick, was that a challenge? It was a mess. Is there one other call you want me to squeeze in? That's real quick. David, good morning.
Good morning. I just have one comment. Me and my ex-wife took a dog in one time. She was an orphan, and you couldn't peel potatoes unless that dog would get in the trash, and somebody had taught her just to eat the peelings, and she absolutely loved them. Wouldn't let you peel a potato around her unless she got the peeling. Just want to say that, and
that's awesome.
Have a great show. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Potato peeling's probably okay, right?
Probably okay.
I don't see why that would be a problem.
Right.
You know, it's what they're taught when they're small or young or something. Like Betty, one of our pugs, was a rescue that was left behind in an apartment for who knows how long by herself. And clearly she was scavenging, trying to eat. We got her very skinny when she was finally found by a cleaning crew. And she was on tables getting anything. Now at home, you know, if you walk away from your Wheaties at the table, she's on the table. We're trying to wean her from that. But I mean, she just jumps on the table like, get off the table. It's what they know. It's what they know. And that was not my fault. Okay?
I know. I understand.
We rescued her and we're trying to teach her not to do that. All right. Any parting shots as we wrap things up? Just as you said, you're seeing already a real spike in ticks and fleas. Fleas. Ticks come in the spring, later.
Summer.
But start looking at maybe putting your animal, if you hadn't had him on it, back on the treatment now.
If you've slacked off, get back on.
Yeah, it's a good call. Allison, as always, it is a pleasure.
So good
to see you. We'll see you again soon if they're lucky, if I'm lucky.
Right.
I'm so glad we got to see you today.
Thanks. Me too.
Have a good day. Go help some pets today.
I'll do my best.
All right. Be back in a moment with a programming note about tomorrow right after this. Stay with us.